Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm very happy that you are here watching this mini common art. What is this going to be about? Okay, common art are sessions that I give online. It's like a workshop, but a little bit different because all the conversations are based on a piece of art. Whether it's painting or sculpture or a movie clip or photography or architecture, any other art expression. Now, what I am pretending to do here is to show you in 20, 30 minutes approximately, to develop a conversation with you. I know that since this is in YouTube, you won't be able to participate directly with me speaking, but you can always participate with your comments, with your questions, and I will gladly be responding to all of them. So in this mini common art sessions, we will be exploring some pieces of art and developing questions. I will be asking questions for you if you would like to answer them. But also you will learn to develop your vocabulary, to develop certain expressions in the language, in English, to strengthen your structure through the use of English. So let's begin. Today, the first session is about the kitchen. Mama, what's cooking? Now, what is the intention of today's session? We are going to reflect why some people consider the kitchen the most important place in a house. We will learn some vocabulary around the kitchen and some idiomatic expressions related to cooking. That's why the title, What's Cooking? Okay, I will share with you a painting with which we will be developing this conversation. But before we start, let's do some brain gym to concentrate, to connect both hemispheres, and to increase our memory. This exercise is called Pinocchio. I'm very sure that you have heard of Pinocchio, this little wooden figure that every time that he lied, his nose grew. What are we going to do? We're going to breathe in and out as we rub our nose. Okay, so first of all, make sure that your nose is clean. Okay, if you need time to blow your nose, to clean your nose, stop the tape and then come back. This is a very simple exercise of breathing in and breathing out. First of all, I would like you to sit straight with your feet on the ground. Relax your shoulders. And we begin. As we breathe in, we will rub the nose 5 to 10 times. We hold the breath for 3 to 7 seconds, as much as you can resist, okay? And then we breathe out slowly. We repeat this exercise, let's say 3 times for the moment, okay? So we breathe in and rub the nose. Hold. Breathe out slowly. If you feel a little dizzy, no worries, that's okay. It's because you're getting air into your lungs and into your brain. Once again, breathe in and rub your nose. Hold. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in and rub. Breathe out. All right. Are we ready to start? My first question is, which room or space in your house do you consider the most important? Is it the living room, your bedroom, the dining room, the kitchen? Which is your favorite space? Why do you consider it the most important space in your house? Now, for many people and for many families, the kitchen is the most important place. You may ask why. Well, at least I know that nowadays many people go out for lunch or ask for some takeaways. That's the food that you order by phone or internet or any other way, and they bring it to your home. But for many people, it is important to cook, and it is important to share these moments when all the family is gathered together when they are eating. So that's why today we are exploring some vocabulary around the kitchen through a painting of a Mexican painter. So this is the image that I want to share with you. The image is, as I told you, from a Mexican painter called José Agustín Arrieta, who was born in 1803 and died in 1874. It's called Cocina Poblana. It was painted in 1865. If you are Mexican, perhaps you know that this is the kind of kitchens that were very common when the colony or in the beginning of Mexico, and still we can find some kitchens like this, for example, in Puebla. If you are from Latin America, perhaps because we were conquered, basically, all of us, we were conquered by Spanish people, more or less, we had the same kind of kitchens. So take a close look at the kitchen. What do you see? What objects can you mention? Let's explore some vocabulary. We can see some pans and some casseroles. It was common in that time to have pots and pans made out of copper. You can see them on the left side of the painting. It was also common to have some pots and casseroles made out of clay. And many kitchens had many casseroles and many pots, because each one of them was used for a different purpose. It means that one casserole, one clay casserole, was only for mole, and another one was only for rice, and another one was only for beans, for example. Okay, so you can also see a wood stove. In that time, or in these kind of kitchens, gas was not used. Electricity wasn't used either. What was used was wood to cook the food. Okay. What other elements can you see? Of course, there are spoons. Some of them were made with wood also. And you can see some people in the painting. What are they doing? Now, even though the painting was painted many years ago, when we are describing a painting, we're going to use the present continuous. We are describing what is happening at that moment. It's as if we were looking through I don't know, the keyhole, or through some space, spying over these people and telling somebody else, oh, I see 4 women in the kitchen. One of the women is holding a turkey, is pampering a turkey. So we're beginning to describe using the present continuous. The blonde girl is pampering a turkey. And there is a woman behind her who is whispering something to her ear. Can you see her? What might she be saying? Who else calls your attention? Or what else calls your attention? There's a woman on her knees, and she's grinding something. She's grinding something. What is she using to grind? She's using a grinding volcanic rock. In Mexico, it's called metate. But if somebody asked you, for example, you are talking with a tourist and they see this thing, this grinder, in a marketplace, in the streets, or in a painting, or anywhere, in a photograph, how can you explain what a metate is? Then you will have to find the words to refer to it. It is a grinding volcanic rock. It's a volcanic rock used to grind food, okay? What is she grinding? Well, I see something reddish or brownish over the volcanic rock. So she might be grinding some chiles. In Mexico, we have many chiles. Why is she grinding these chiles or whatever she's grinding? Perhaps because they are preparing some mole. You see the lady standing behind her, the lady who is wearing a yellow skirt. And she is stirring something in the casserole. I think that she's stirring mole. She's also stirring something on a small, in a small pot. What can it be? Is it chocolate? Is it some atole? What is atole? How can you describe the word atole to a foreigner? Well, atole is a hot beverage made with corn many times, or with cornstarch. And it can have different flavors like guava, or even chocolate, or any other fruit. Okay, now we have the metate, which is a flat grinding volcanic rock. How can you describe molcajete? Molcajete in Mexico is a stone or a volcanic rock mortar. A mortar is concave, all right? So we usually use them in Mexico to grind tomatoes with onions, with hot chili, with, I don't know, other spices, salt, etc., to make salsa, the Mexican salsa. So this is what you are going to do, or what you will have to do when you want to explain words that do not have a literal or a direct translation into English. What is molcajete? It's a stone mortar, or a stone volcanic rock mortar, right? And you have the hand, of course, also made of rock, to grind the elements that you want to be in this salsa. Okay, now we see that the women are wearing crinolines under their skirts. This was common in that era. And we only see women. It was common in that time that only women went into the kitchen. No men were allowed in the kitchen. Nowadays, men and women cook, men and women share responsibilities in the kitchen. What food can you see in the painting? Name as many as you can, and you can write them on the chat here on YouTube. We can see some vegetables. Can you see any fruit? So if the lady with a yellow skirt is preparing mole, what do you think is happening to the turkey? And what is this woman doing here? Who is she? Look at her clothes. And look at how her clothes are different from the other two ladies' clothes. She looks like more elegant. Maybe she's not a mulata, or maybe she's not an indigenous person. Maybe she's the owner of the house, a criolla, right? And she doesn't want the turkey to be killed. Maybe it was her pet. Maybe she feels sorry for the turkey. It is common, or it was common in Mexico. It is still common in Mexico to cook turkey with mole. It's a wonderful dish. Now, mole. How can you explain mole? If you're not Mexican, maybe you don't even know what is mole. How can you explain? What is mole? You can say it's a Mexican sauce used with different kinds of meat, like pork, like chicken, like turkey in this case. And this sauce is prepared with many ingredients. We use around 40 or 50 different ingredients, among which are chiles and tomatoes, onions, garlic, chocolate, and we also use tortilla. Everything is ground, yes, and combined to create this special sauce. We have different kinds of moles. We have green mole, and we have red mole, and we have black mole, and different with different flavors, with different spices also. This is, well, mole is considered one very special food in Mexico. So, okay, going back to the lady, to the blonde girl, she might be sad. What do you think that the lady behind her is telling her? Maybe she's trying to convince her to leave the kitchen, that she doesn't belong there. Maybe she's trying to let her know that, well, this turkey has to be killed. We don't know. Another important element, the cat. Why is there a cat in the kitchen? Cats chase mice. Okay, so this cat might be over there trying to see if there are any mice around to chase it, because there was food all the time. So it was very probable that one or two mice were there. Okay, remember, mouse is singular, mice is plural. It's an irregular plural form. So the cat is attentive for a mouse, or is attentive also to see if there is something nice for it to eat. So what's the reason they're cooking? What do you imagine? Let's make up a story. You can build a narrative with these sessions. What are they doing? What's the reason they're cooking? Is there going to be a party, or is it just a common day activity? Where could there be a kitchen like this? How have the kitchens changed? Do you have a grinding volcanic rock in your house? Maybe not. Do you have a mortar in your house? Maybe not. We now use blenders, these electric devices where we put all the ingredients and we just switch on the blender and we have the combination of elements. So kitchens have changed along the time. I would like to ask you also, how important is the kitchen to you? Have you ever cooked? If you would like to share an experience, if you cook, what's your favorite dish? If you don't cook, who cooks in your house? How do you feel about cooking? What utensils or appliances do you have at home? Do you have a blender? Do you have a microwave oven? Do you have an electric oven or a stove, a gas stove? Please share your comments, and it will give me lots of pleasure to hear your comments. All right. So after exploring this painting, let's go for some idioms or idiomatic expressions around the kitchen. What are idioms or what are idiomatic expressions? They are phrases or sentences that we use in context or out of context. For example, when I say, "What's cooking?" I may refer to the actual question. You get home, you smell something, and you run and say, "Mama, what's cooking?" And she might say, "Oh, I'm cooking roast chicken." But also we can use these idiomatic expressions out of context, not referring in this case to the kitchen. So if you're at work, if you're in your workplace and somebody gets in, sees you that you're working and asks you, "What's cooking?" Or sees that everybody is so concentrated doing something and this person doesn't know what's happening, and then they come in and they say, "What's cooking?" What does that mean? In this case, it means what's happening, what's going on. We are going to work on these 10 idiomatic expressions or idioms around the kitchen, but with a game. So take a look at them. I'm going to read them aloud, and then we will go into a game to match the sentences or the idioms with the meaning. Number 1, what's cooking? Number 2, to go from the frying pan into the fire. What do you think it means? 3, too many cooks spoil the broth. 4, to have a lot on your plate. 5, to grill someone. 6, to boil over something. 7, to simmer down. 8, half-baked ideas. 9, if you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. And number 10, to cook the books or cook the accounts. So I'm going to share screen with you, bring you to the game, and we will solve it together. Are you ready? Okay, let me share. So what's the game? Okay, we have a number of tiles in different colors, and we have the definitions of the idiomatic expressions. But they do not match. We need to unscramble them. We need to put the idiomatic expression next to whatever it means. If you would like to hear the expression, you can click on the
Cook the
icon
books or the accounts.
and you will listen to it.
Cook the books or the accounts.
Okay, so cook the books or the accounts. What do you think it means? Ideas not properly thought through or bad planned? Falsifying financial records for a business or person? To feel so angry that you might lose your temper? When too many people are involved in something, rightly or wrongly, the task may not be successful. Don't persist with a task if the pressure of it is too much for you. What's going on? To ask a lot of questions to get the information you want. To be very busy and have a lot of work to do. To calm down or settle down. To move from a bad situation to an even worse one. So what do they mean? For example, I was explaining to you that what's cooking?
What's cooking?
What's going on? So we drag the tile to its definition. Cook the books or the accounts?
Cook the books or the accounts.
It means falsifying financial records for a business or a person. Something that we shouldn't do, definitely, but sometimes companies or people falsify information to avoid taxes, for example. Okay. Do you know any other? For example, what do you think it means to boil over something? To boil, when you want to cook, I don't know, some potatoes or anything, you put them in water, put them on the stove, let them cook with boiling water. That would be the literal translation. So the potatoes are boiling over water, all right? But when you feel so angry that
To boil over something.
you lose your temper, then you are
To
boiling.
boil over something. To boil over something.
You're boiling over something. To be very busy and have a lot of work to do. Let's imagine that you are in one of these situations that your boss wants you to do something extra for the day, and you say, please, I don't have time to do it.
To have a lot on your plate.
I have a lot on my plate.
To have a lot on your plate.
I have a lot on my plate. Please, I can do that tomorrow, but not today. I'm very busy. I have a lot of work to do today. Okay. Let's see. Half-baked ideas. If they are half-baked, it means that they are not fully, they are not finished.
Half-baked ideas.
So half-baked ideas
Half-baked ideas.
means ideas that are not properly thought over, or they are badly planned, or they are not finished. They are half-baked ideas. Okay, which other do we know? If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. What do you think it means? If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. Listen.
If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen.
Don't persist with a task if the pressure of it is too much for for you. So this is something too difficult for you? If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen. All right, to simmer down. We had to boil over something. Let's say that you're boiling over something, you're very angry about a situation, but you don't want to go and yell to the person that has caused some harm or anything. So you start breathing in and out to simmer down. It means
To simmer down.
To calm down or settle down. So please, before going to yell at somebody else, simmer down. Please breathe in and breathe out to simmer down. Then you can take consciousness of the situation and you can know how to act and what to say and what to do over that situation that keeps you boiling over. Okay, which other one do we have? To go from the frying pan into the fire. Oh, what is better, to be on a frying pan or to be directly on the fire? I suppose it's better to be on a frying pan. So when you say, oh, I'm going from the frying pan into the fire, means that you're moving from a bad situation to an even worse one.
To go from the frying pan into the fire.
So what's happening? What's cooking with you? Well, I'm going from the frying pan into the fire. I knew I was doing better, but every day it's getting worse at work or at home or my finance, whatever. I'm going from the frying pan to the fire. Do we have another one? Well, to grill someone, it is already matched over here, is to ask a lot of questions to get the information that you want. You have these incisive persons or people who are asking constantly lots of questions because they want to get information from you. It is irrelevant for them. They shouldn't put their nose in. They shouldn't nose in, but they're asking and asking questions. So you can say, oh my God, I'm so tired of this person. He's grilling me. Yes? Or you can be this kind of people that you want to get information from somebody and you say, well, I need to grill John because I need to get this information really. So you grill someone, you ask a lot of questions. Are they done? Let's check.
Half-baked ideas.
Half-baked ideas, ideas not properly thought through, or badly planned or not finished.
Cook the books or the accounts.
Cook the books or the accounts is to falsify financial records for a business or a person.
To boil over something.
When you're boiling over something is because you really are angry that you might lose your temper.
Too many cooks spoil the broth.
If you use this idiomatic expression, it means that there are too many people involved in a project, rightly or wrongly, okay, it doesn't matter, but there are too many people involved in one same activity, and then it's not as good as it seems. The task may not be successful.
If you can't stand the heat, keep out of the kitchen.
Remember, if you're not good at that, you better try something else. Don't persist with a task if the pressure of it is too much for you.
What's cooking?
What's cooking? What's going on?
To grill someone.
To grill someone is to ask questions and questions and questions to get the information that you want. Or if somebody is asking you lots of questions, they are grilling you.
To have a lot on your plate.
To have a lot of your on your plate is a very common expression. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, but I'm too busy. I'm sorry, I have too much to do. You can use this expression, I have a lot on my plate. Or you can be empathetic to somebody else and tell them, I can help you. I can see that you have a lot on your plate. I can help you out.
To simmer down.
To simmer down is to calm down or settle down, to give you this 10 seconds of breathing in and out, to boil when you're boiling over something, to let steam off and calm down.
To go from the frying pan into the fire.
And finally, to go from the frying pan into the fire means to move from a bad situation to an even worse one. I hope you enjoyed this game. I will leave the link if you want to play it again so that you can memorize these expressions and use them afterwards. So thank you very much for joining in today, for watching this video. There will be a mini common art session every week. So please stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel, follow me. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, where I will be sharing these videos. And hopefully you will improve your English. You will know how to handle certain situations, learn new vocabulary, and see you very soon. Thanks.